A very good evening to all the participants. This is Juhi on behalf of Texo team. Welcome you all to the session of Analysis of Union Budget 2024. In the journey of the 2 years plus Texo, work as a catalyst in the knowledge space of GST domain and worked as a bridge for professionals, academics, industrialists, students, and government departments in different initiatives and unique products on GST. For this webinar, we had received overwhelming responses and we have received more than 1,000 registrations. And this session is live on the YouTube channel too. And we are going to share the recording with 2 lakh plus MSMEs and SMEs very soon. Today, we have with us 2 very esteemed guests, CA Dr. Atul Kumar Gupta sir and Advocate CA Kapil Goyal sir. I would like to welcome CA Kapil Goyal sir first. Sir is a practicing lawyer at Supreme Court, High Court, and Tax Tribunal. Mr. Goyal is a specialized lawyer in direct tax litigation. He has argued some landmark cases at High Court and wide range of issues on reassessment and search assessment. He has represented more than 2,000 cases at various judicial forums, including High Court and ITAT. Further, he has addressed more than 2,000 seminars across country and 200 plus webinars in various ICI forums and other platforms too. Mr. Goyal has authored various papers on direct tax and other topics too, which are widely circulated among tax professionals. I welcome him on behalf of all our participants and Team Texo. Welcome to you, sir.
Master of the ceremony, Juhi ma'am. My very good what I should use sometime when you have to describe a person to whom you love. Akib Bihari says, Atul bhai, love needs no definition at all, but I have extreme love to you in the sense that I have received overwhelming blessings in my personal life from you always. And you are a person whom the profession, CA profession especially, has always looked upon up to for what you say, Margdarshan and Path Pradarshan. And I also personally look forward for your sage wisdom, which you always shower on me unconditionally in a most revered manner. So may God bless you, sir. And today I am in your great company. You are a staller figure for us. See, I am your small branch. But yes, the duty which you have given to me, I have to definitely, in a obedience sense, fulfill that to my extreme capacities. Yes, there are no significant changes in this. This is interim budget. As I was discussing with our beloved Atul bhai, that sir, there are no good changes. So what should be our dialogue and discussion points? So he sagely advised me or suggested that we could definitely, in brief, discuss on some of the important aspects which, though they have not been taken on board at this juncture, at this point in time, but in the times to come, we may look forward for the same being larger issues touching taxpayers across sectors. So as far as economic aspect is concerned, I'm not a what you say person who knows economics or who has been can comment upon economic aspect of the budget, Atul bhai, but I have tried to, because today there were not numbers of changes in the direct tax and indirect taxes. So I had tried from my side. You can supplement me and correct me where you feel so. I find some of the aspects where the speech maybe not today, but in the times to come, definitely those areas need to be highlighted. So one area I want to just highlight at the outset, sir, is this aspect of infrastructure development, Atul bhai. I don't know, this aspect. If I talk about, there is a figure which is all one, 11,11,111 crore rupees. I repeat, 11,11,000 111 crore rupees. That is 3.4% of the GDP is the target for the infrastructure development. So I, as a chartered accountant, we understand the importance of the expenditure on the infrastructure side. So this is definitely going to be a one of the very important aspect which I, as my little understanding, can fathom. Second is this thing which the Honorable FM ma'am has stated in her speech to be the game changer. This corridor, India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. So as a chartered accountant, there can be various opportunities for us also, and definitely from the taxation implication side also there has to be seen closely, because it is said to be the important initiative of our beloved Prime Minister. So as far as infrastructure development is concerned, as far as this corridor is concerned, and third is technological, Atul Bhai, our C Institute has always taken the ahead in this technological AI and all those things. But government in this, the finance minister, honorable finance minister, in the budget speech has said that they will be creating a corpus for technological development of 1 lakh crore rupees, which will have some facilities of interest for 50-year loan. So that is also very interesting to me, as far as my interest is. Fourth point I found is that they say, though, as we all know, we all wish that India become developed and Viksit by 2047 is the target. But in that roadmap, there are various sub points which are being stated in the budget speech of the Honorable Finance Minister, which may also be read by the concerned persons. And one thing which they have, Atul Bhai, very importantly highlighted is this. They have said that 4 major castes are there, which our country, our honorable PM, and they feel is to be, their welfare is of priority. One, they say poor. Second, they say women. Third, they say youth. Fourth, they say farmer. So these are the 4 castes which the government says that they are on their extreme priority, their welfare. So that is also a good, what you say, mission. If all these things happens in the times to come, the country definitely will see many more economic initiatives. And when she has started her direct tax and this taxation part B proposals, she has said, outlined the last 10 years, very briefly. She has, Honorable FM has outlined the last 10 years changes vis-a-vis the previous government. She has said that they have definitely reduced the what you say maximum exemption limit of the income to 7 lakh, and they have said that for presumptive taxation income also assesses also they have increased the cap from 2 crore to 3 crore for business assesses and professionals, 50 lakh to 75 lakhs. So she has outlined these achievements of the current government in last 10 years, that there are various steps which they have taken for the taxpayer friendly and citizen friendly manner. And one thing, Atul Bhai, which she has very seriously outlined is that the regime is now of faceless. She has said that we will not go by majority age old jurisdiction-based assessment, tax assessment. They say we will go by faceless tax assessment. So now when she talks about faceless tax assessment, she says that it is the time, it is going to be definitely settled for times to come. So all of us has to gear up, but there could have been, as you rightly said, there could have been some changes like this, Atul Bhai, which High Courts and Supreme Court in last 2-3 years after this new invention and classical concept of faceless came, there were some teething problems which were outlined, or what you say, genuine issues like natural justice violation, virtual hearing problem, show cause notice issues, quality of show cause notice, you better know in that tax also. So those things could have been taken on board. The revenue administration could have been sensitized that they should not harass the taxpayer in genuine cases, and especially when they are reopening past assessments, they should be sensitized. We have seen in our own experiences, sir, the assessments have been reopened in many cases which otherwise ought not have been. So she has outlined from her side in the paragraphs which she has devoted to direct tax and indirect tax, is that quite a lot changes have been made in last 10 years on progressive side, positive side, maybe tax slab point, maybe 44AD presumptive income, 44ADA, maybe updated return concept, which last time she was introducing 139 subsection 8A, maybe 26 years updated form, sir. All these things she has outlined. Nothing, only one thing which Atulji has been done in this budget what you say in the name of change, otherwise I would be failing in my duty if I don't analyze it. Although in other seminar, I could not find it. I should be candid. Sorry. In text proposals in para 92 and 93, the Honorable Worthy FM has said, in line with our government's vision to improve ease of living and ease of doing business, I wish to make an announcement to improve taxpayer services. Now, what is important calling from here, Atulji, that the government and Honorable FM is very keen to see that taxpayer services are improvised. At least if we take positive side from it, is that they are at least conscious that there should be services to the taxpayers, which Yug was not there earlier. And then she has said in this para 93 of her budget speech, there are large number of petty, non-verified, non-reconciled or disputed direct tax demands, many of them dating as far as 1962. So in simple sense, she has said that there are various tax demands pending in the income tax, income tax records, which are dating to 1962 year, which are very petty, which are, what you say, very small.
Kapilji, just please, sorry to interject. There are some queries which are also coming in the Q&A. So maybe after your speech, because one of the member talked about the 206C in bracket 1G of the Income Tax Act.
I will definitely
and another is talking about Muthaiya ji is talking about that promoting new tax regime, which may where many SSCs were locked in the old tax regime committed saving.
Yes,
So,
I will definitely do that.
So there will be many other questions. So after your deliberation or during your deliberation,
I will do, sir. I will do, sir. Good, you draw my attention to that, sir. Thank you. So, and Atul bhai, your interjections are always very happy and healthy. They always motivate me, at least. I always feel encouraged. So I was submitting, Atulji, that only constructive change is this, which I could highlight here, is para 93, which the Honorable FM has said, the old demands which are there in the income tax records, which are petty, they should be deleted. So she has given two criteria, sir. One, she says that I propose to withdraw such outstanding direct tax demands up to 25,000 rupees pertaining to period up to financial year 9-10. So in simple words, 25,000 tak, 25,000 up to 25,000 rupees tax demand till financial year 9-10, that is assessment year 10-11, will be scrapped automatically, as she has stated. And up to 10,000 rupees demand for financial year 10-11 to 14-15. That is AY 11-12 to 15-16, sir. So
here, Kapilji, there is a question from Lalit Garg that he want to understand what is this petty word means.
So there is no, this petty word is further defined, Atul bhai, in this. I am happy you highlighted this point, but see, she has herself said petty is the definition which she has elaborated it. The 25,000 rupees till financial year 9-10 and 10,000 for this financial year 10-11 to 14-15. So
opinion, it will be the general demand rather than we are looking for something that, okay, they want to say anything. I believe that any demand up to 5,000 rupees or any demand up to 10,000 rupees will be automatically dropped.
Yes, depending upon the bid. You are absolutely right. This word petty has been, which is general word, has been
amount.
Yes, you are right, sir.
This is for the amount rather than for a nature of demand.
Nature of demand. There is no such provision. See, she has clearly said, as far as tax proposals, I repeat.
So our professionals are trying to interpret every word. So that's why I believe that Lalitji is in a searching that the definition of the petty as well. But I believe that it's related to the value of the money, value of the demand rather than the nature of the demand.
आप इसको हंसी में ऐसे कह सकते हैं, सर, ये उनकी दरिया दिली है कि वो इतना हमारे प्रति वो कर रही है, आप उसको अदरवाइज ना ले, बस मेरी भावना। इसीलिए मैं हिंदी में बोल रहा है ये वाला बात। So it is the magnanimity. So other part was which other friend was submitting, sir, Atul bhai, 206C. See, he has said, I was reading that part only in that paragraph about that I am not making any changes, significant changes or constructive changes, because this is interim budget. I maintain convention. She has said that clearly. Only things which she has done is this in the budget speech. This is announcement. This will be implemented in executive side. This might not require any amendment in the Second thing which she said that they have substantively done, Atul bhai, is they have just changed that period जिसको if I say 31 मार्च 24 को जो खत्म होना था उसको उन्होंने जहां जहां पर जरूरत थी उसको 25 करा है, बस उतना चेंज किया है.
So Kapil ji, I'm trying to not to stop you.
अरे नहीं brother,
But the in the question which you discuss about this petty demand of 25,000 and 10,000, there is a question from Asha ji. She is asking a question whether this demand including interest or it's a demand.
अब देखिए हमारे दोस्त जो लोग होते हैं ना भाई साहब, वो तो आप अतुल भाई मेरे से ज्यादा जानते हैं, आप मेरे से बड़े भी हैं और अनुभव भी आपका 100 गुना मेरे से ज्यादा है. तो ये जो डाल और मैं पात जैसे अब हमने एक चीज आ गई, अब उसके अंदर की जो बिटवीन दी लाइन की रीडिंग है वो हमारी ठीक है, वो गलत नहीं है, जो पूछ रहा है उसका भावना बिल्कुल सही है. अब मैं भी अपनी तरफ से जैसे मैं अब हमने तो उसको जैसे पढ़ने हमारी कॉमन पार्लेंस इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज इसको हर्मेनेटिक्स बोलते हैं. हर्मेनेटिक्स शब्दों का खेल क्या है, तो हर्मेनेटिक्स का प्ले में तो भाई साहब जो सिंपल है टैक्स डिमांड का मतलब टैक्स डिमांड, उस पे ब्याज नहीं आना चाहिए.
Yes, it should be the value of the demand, tax demand rather than including interest. So it is exclusive of interest if the amount demand is 24,999 and interest may be 1 lakh, but the value of the demand will be treated as less than 25.
Yes. और यही एक इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज की खासियत है, इसको क्लैरिफाई करने के लिए फिर आगे जरूरत पड़ती है क्लैरिफिकेशंस की.
No, but I believe that it's a fair interpretation of the law because
sorry please sir, आपने जो फेयर वर्ड बोला ना अतुल भाई, तो मेरा ध्यान कहीं और चला गया. फेयर वर्ड का बड़ा डिफरेंट मीनिंग हो सकता है कई जगह.
But anyway, मतलब
आपको पता है ये आदत हमें कैसे, सॉरी आई एम डाइग्रेसिंग फॉर अ मोमेंट जस्ट टू मेक द डिस्कशन लाइटर. व्हेन वी स्टैंड इन हाई कोर्ट एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट, we sometimes do not know how a English word can be given an interpretation. Sometimes our imagination boggles.
So the another question, Kapil ji, is that what about those whose demand already adjusted through refunds? I don't understand this question. Maybe
I understand.
Okay.
he says कि जिसका अभी डिपार्टमेंट ने सर जो पहले डिमांड था और जो आज की तारीख में ऑलरेडी किसी रिफंड के साथ उसको निपटा, उसका एडजस्टमेंट हो चुका है और अभी वो उसको चाहते हैं कि रिफंड एक्टिवेट होकर दोबारा मिल जाए उसको और वो अंडू हो जाए, वो नहीं हो पाएगा सर. सॉरी, मेरी हम्बल ओपिनियन में आज के तक.
And the another question is in this area, I believe it's a good point that members are raising to ask the clarification. It's a learning for everybody. That they are saying this 25,000 rupees pertaining to a particular year but maybe there for every year there is a demand of 20,000 rupees for 3 continuous years.
This is you are rightly saying कि आपने पहले ही बोल दिया, बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है. इसमें कोई क्वालिफिकेशन अभी तो समझ में आ नहीं रहा कि ये एग्रीगेट है या ये ईयर वाइज है. If it is a benefit, sir, it should be treated year wise. See, it is interpretation of the English 4 lines which ma'am has written in her speech. We have no more than Atul bhai to interpret ourselves. Definitely, CBDT when it implement, we have seen them. They will definitely give this post-budget clarification or some kind of FAQs, because this definitely might be a small amount, but it may have some larger issues like the questions which are coming from our learned and erudite audience. This question typically key that this is year-wise or this is aggregation. Brother, as I read to my little senses, it looks year-wise. But maybe I can be proven wrong, you know. Sometimes when we say in the budget day, this is the interpretation sometimes gets changes also, sir. So there has to be caveat and asterisk mark on that. आपका सब्जेक्ट में भी अतुल भाई ज्यादा ही होता है, सब दोनों साइड होता है, इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स पे भी होता है और डायरेक्ट टैक्स पे होता है. और आप हमारे प्रेसिडेंट भी रहे हैं तो आप समझते हैं कि ये टैक्स साइड का जो इंटरप्रिटेशन है, this is definitely, I remember Justice Nariman when he was in Supreme Court, sir, he said in one judgment that Income Tax Act is the most, with due respect to Parliament, he said it's a judgment with Justice Deepak Mishra that Income Tax Act is the most worst drafted legislation. And when you said, Atul bhai, in the evening, when I asked your margdarshan what I should speak, I was only wanting to touch this point, which our worthy Prime Minister also in last week in the Supreme Court Diamond Jubilee celebration, he has opened his speech, Honorable PM, that our laws should be written in simple language. And I'm drawing attention of my all viewers. I don't know, Atul bhai, our tax laws, I'm sorry, I'm a small man, but I don't know. When I read and daily see these laws and daily we apply these laws, this language is far from simplicity, sir. You take any section like 1023 capital C for charitable trust 12A, sir, for any expert to expert person who has framed it, if you will give him a challenge, please interpret this English and tell us what is the meaning of it. Then maybe Prime Minister Saab is absolutely right that our laws need serious correction to be written in proper, simple language. And 90% Atul Bhai litigation which we are fighting day in and day out is due to this, which Nariman Saab and PM Saab is saying should be definitely corrected. Anyhow, my one good friend has asked me this question, 206C. Atul Bhai, I don't see any constructive sense in this, but this simply says that the seller of an this is not too much. I don't see any particular what you say constructive change in this, as Madam has said in budget speech. But the one clause is there in the finance bill, clause number 8 in section 206C in subsection 1G. They have said there are certain what you say substitutions and omissions. Maybe what I could see is that this TCS section, Atul Bhai, and TDS sections, although in my practical area, I don't generally, what you say, I will be fair, apply them, but I see some circular and clarification schemes from CBDT in last months from between previous budget and this budget to just take them on board. These changes are made. That is what my submission is.
So there is another question from Pradeep ji that if the total demand of rupees 1 lakh is there, so whether I have to pay now 75,000 rupees and the 25,000 will be condoned.
Sir, I believe in this seminar, Atul Bhai, today FAQ will be made.
Yes.
Sir, ये 25 ऐसे नहीं मिलेगा sir. Sorry, जिसका 25 लाख तब वो 25. With due respect, the idea is not to say that it is a standard deduction. Sorry, Atul Bhai. It is to waive those demands which are petty and which are below that amount which ma'am has quantified in her speech. That's my take for this question. So the learned curist which has said that 1 lakh minus 25,000, sorry, that should not be the way.
So if the demand is less than 25,000 rupees, that will automatically get waived off. But if the amount is more than 25,000 rupees, there is no deduction available as far as this 25,000 is concerned.
Right. And
yes. The total demand will stand. I just wish to clarify what the Kapil ji is trying to convey us.
Absolutely, sir. Atul Bhai, your sense of understanding is far better than anybody else, or we always admire. So Atul Bhai, I was again coming to the budget speech part of direct tax proposals, ma'am speech. So apart from this petty demand change, she has highlighted that in faceless regime, they want to fix accountability also. So I feel, Atul Bhai, in the times to come, it is definitely to be seen by all of us ki this para 89 of our budget speech at page 25, when the learned Honorable FM has said the age-old jurisdiction-based assessment was transformed with the introduction of faceless assessment appeal, thereby imparting greater efficiency, transparency, and accountability. Atul Bhai, I have, sorry, as far as this third element of admin is concerned, which is a very important issue which many of chartered accountants feel that, sir, we are harassed because of the what you say apparent incorrect action, Atul Bhai, of the tax authority, which is barely totally contrary to the law, apparently contrary to the law, and there is no accountability of the errant official. So I don't know, when the FM has said that there is to be accountability, in our experience, though there are things in high pitch assessment committee, etc. But in practical, Atul Bhai, we have not seen accountability of revenue officials being fixed. I don't know in GST side also. So it has to be very carefully, rather more rigorously watched that how accountability of officials, Atul ji, in the times to come is fixed, sir. So I will close my very small deliberation, sir. I don't know how much justice, Atul Bhai, I could do to my talk and to this.
No, Kapil ji, just to my friend Abhinav ji, who asked the question for 206.1G.
Sir.
This is in relation to this TCS to be deducted by the tour operator in case you are going overseas for a certain purpose. So they have changed the rate as far as the 5%. There was the first proviso which was talking about the 20% is now being shifted to 5%. And with
but so sorry, Batul Bhai, take a pause here. That is to be effect from 1st October 2023.
Yeah. So I was talking about that. It's a retrospective amendment, and that the benefit of the education and medical treatment is also being proposed vis-a-vis from this is 1st of July, and the 1st of October 23, the rate has been shifted from 5 to 20, and accordingly, this seller of a overseas tour was required to collect a sum of 20% on the aggregate amount if amount is more than 7 lakh.
Atul bhai, see, I submitted one caveat. I don't know whether you pay, matlab, whether you appreciated that or not. I said कि though it's not my subject, but as I recall from my reading experience, there has been some CBDT circulars or clarifications. When you see, there was a last time when there was a statutory change. Executive our CBDT felt otherwise, and they gave some what you say in this.
There will be always like this. Yeah.
So Nani, I'm just trying to make out a sense in that, and that is a point, because now what is started happening, Atulji, and though it's not very healthy way, as me like academician feel, if a parliament makes a law, executive feels कि सर ये ज्यादा होना चाहिए था TCS का, अभी इसको इस तरीके से होना चाहिए था, उसको बोर्ड पे लेने के लिए अतुल जी ये चेंज हुआ है. और वो मैंने इसीलिए बोला अपनी बात को कि there has been some in between clarifications from the CBDT which were not as good as this. And this na ye Atul ji, this TCS part of this, all this business of TCS business has already drawn attention of various, what you say, this industry people, because this requires a lot of compliance costs and compliance burden. And even if there is a error, Atul ji, what you say, even if there is some error on part of the person to collect TCS and he bona fide made an error, sir, there is no pardon. There is a demand created under 201 also, and there are penal consequences also. So ease of doing business, if I would see, as you rightly said in the evening to me, there has to be TCS, sir, but there has to be some appreciation, Atul ji. There has to be some safe harbor rules, some tolerance band, as all tax jurisdictions, great jurisdictions have. If I'm having 100 crore transactions, 1000 crore turnover, and I'm doing 90% okay, 1%, 2%, 5% gets here or there wrong. Should not be, it should be treated leniently. That is the question I asked to myself.
So Kapilji, there are few questions as far as the income tax is concerned. I wish that we should answer. There is a question from Muthaiya Lakshmanan ji, that why the government is very keen on promoting new tax regime while many cases are locked in the old regime due to committed saving. Maybe a small reply here to him.
This is Lakshmanan ji is asking a policy question, sir. Definitely, government of the country wants that people should have a broader choices. I can only answer this, Atul bhai.
No problem. Another question which you have already taken, that why the government is sticking on the faceless assessment in spite of many practical problems, and the majority of the orders are struck down by the ITAT or the High Court. They have to look into the stats on the success of the order passed and then proceed. I believe it's a comment rather than a question, so you may skip this.
I have also, but Atul bhai, in my respectful submission, I have submitted with due respect to sir that yes, which you also were expecting from me, that definitely this particular interim budget should, ma'am, Honorable FM, should have sensitized the tax administration if faceless assessment has to remain now permanently. So tax administration should also be oriented like that.
There is another question from Abhinav ji. Maybe if you would like to answer, is the period also extended to 31st March 2025 for the new manufacturing unit of 15% corporates or not?
Sir, Abhinav bhai, you have to, I cannot, what is the particular section in which, see, there is only, I'm sorry.
Anyway, we will move to the another question, Kapil ji. There is an anonymous attendee. Thanks for your session, Kapil ji. Please answer if there are any provision affecting personal income tax which were in the budget document but not in the speech, affecting salaried class.
I could not find any, sir, to my limited understanding. And what Abhinav bhai was asking, Atul bhai, there is a concessional tax rate section 115 BVAB special rate 115 BAA karke. Unme koi change, there is no change as appearing in Finance Bill 2024 in my hands in section 115 BAA, BAB, BAC, etc.
So the question which you have already answered, there is another question from anonymous attendee, whether this 25,000 includes interest or without interest. So you have already answered that it is exclusive of interest.
Sir, I don't know, Atul bhai. When I read it, I never imagined that there will be so many queries out of this with you in lighter side.
Yeah. So
as you always say, queries makes us better and stronger in our thinking.
So there is another question from Narang ji, that if the petty demand of this 25,000 or 10,000, whether includes the demand related to the TDS as well.
Narang Sahab has a good point. See, Narang Sahab, ma'am has not said that it is, see, demand of tax means demand of tax. I believe it should ideally cover TDS also, because if you look to the definition of tax in the income tax law, there is no separate tax demand of TDS, such. So in my respectful personal submission, it should include it.
The Pawanji is asking a question for this startups. I believe you have time, maybe 2-3 minutes more.
Yes, Atul bhai,
So
absolutely.
Pawanji is asking a question that the benefit of startups, which is extended for 1 year.
Yes.
So are they talking about the section 81 IAC relating to 10-year tax holiday exemption? I can answer this. This is yes, you are right.
Yes, sir. 80 IAC, you are right, sir. Bhai,
Yes. I'm also become little bit of an income tax person along with you.
Sir, you are already, sir. You are,
No.
you are like our Hanuman and Jambat both.
So
Sorry, I'm saying with liberty.
so there is a Pankaj is again asking a question. The 25,000 includes interest or without interest? We have answered that it's exclusive of interest in the opinion of the discussion. There is a follow-up question from anonymous attendee. Are there any changes related to agriculture income, surcharge and capital gain on securities which were not mentioned in the speech but in the budget bill?
So, ma'am, as categorically, I repeat, sir, sorry, Vitul, para 92, as for tax proposals in keeping with the convention, I do not propose to make any changes relating to taxation and propose to retain the same tax rates for direct taxes and indirect taxes, including import duties. And in the budget bill also, I have seen, sir, there is no such change, sir. And
So,
definitely,
I will just try to draw your attention on the chapter 2, which is dealing with the rate of income tax, and they have substituted some points wherein the net agriculture income shall be increased by a sum of 2,50,000 rupees, and the amount of income tax shall be determined in respect of the net agriculture income, so increased at the rate specified in this paragraph 115 BAC. So,
can I note by kahan se padh rahe aap? Sorry.
I'm reading only the finance bill and chapter 2, page 2. This is the second point, rate of income tax, wherein they have given the substitution in the 115 BAC.
I will again read it in the meantime.
Maybe in the meantime you can.
I will just again reclarify myself with this. आप अपना सेमिनार जब तक करेंगे मैं इसको पढ़ लेता हूं एक बार दोबारा से.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I will again check it, sir.
Yes, please. So this is there. Now I will just brief my colleagues here about the 2 changes which are there in the GST, so that in the meantime our colleagues can have more questions from you as well. Dear friends, as far as this indirect tax is concerned, there are 2 changes which are being brought in this finance bill, the interim budget, you popularly known as, and one change is there as far as this in relation to the ISD, input service distributor. So my dear friend, you are aware that what was happening prior to this introduction. There was an inquiry initiated by the various departments, the field officers, for the cross charge, that in case the head office, it's not the head office word is being used, but for the layman understanding, if the head office is providing the services to its branches, say example, the CFO is there, the HR department is there, the strategy department is there, and they are providing to its branches. So branches in the GST we called as a distinct person. So in that case, the department was of the view that it is a services provided by the head office to its branches, and you should have a cross charge, meaning thereby the head office should charge certain amount from the branches and on which the GST should be paid. Now, there are many obvious interpretation or the challenges will be there, because the branches at times are not rendering the taxable activities. Number 2, that in case you are asking the demand for the last 5 years, the interest and the penalty provisions will be applicable. So it was a worry for all the corporates, and then come the very welcome circular or clarification issued by the department that it's not a mandatory. So the cross charge was not mandatory, but at the same time in the GST Council, it was being decided that they will make the ISD provision mandatory. Now,
the ISD means the input service distributor. So I take a pause. Why I take the pause? Just to clarify you what is the meaning of ISD. That is the input service distributor. So you are becoming a distributor of input services which are primarily used by the branches but paid by the head office. So my dear friend, now by virtue of this proposed amendment, there will be a mandatory requirement that in case you are a head office, for example, again, the head office is not there in the law, but I'm assuming, I'm just giving you that in case normally what is happening, that maybe the regional head office or maybe the national head office, if they are incurring certain expenses, they are taking certain input services, which are primarily are there for the branches, and the payment is being made by the head office. In that case, it will be a mandatory requirement for the head office to obtain the ISD number and then distribute that credit to its branches through raising the necessary document. So what is there that in the earlier case, when we talk about the cross charge, it was that even the CFO salary you have to distribute to your branches or distinct person, but now that is not a mandatory requirement at all. It is only the input services. Let us take an example that you are getting your system audit of your branches, maybe the cyber security audit of your branch is located in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, and you are based in Haryana, and you are paying to the consultant from your Haryana office. And say, for example, you paid 5 lakhs rupees with the 90,000 rupees GST. So that 90,000 rupees you have to compulsorily distribute in the Uttar Pradesh and the Madhya Pradesh branch in the prescribed formula, which will be there in the times to come. Now, my dear friend, another aspect which was troubling to the ecosystem, that when you have taken the ISD number, and in the ISD number, you cannot pay under the reverse charge mechanism. So, for example, the ISD, the company is taking the advocate services. Now, what will happen that in case you are taking the advocate service, you have to pay under the reverse charge mechanism. ISD is not supposed to take the supposed to pay under the reverse charge mechanism. So how you will be able to distribute, because now the word is being used shall, meaning thereby whatever payment you are making under section 9.3 and 9.4. 9.3 is the forward charge and 9.3 is the reverse charge, and 9.4 is like normal payment and the reverse charge. Now, my dear friend, in this case, what will happen that since the ISD is not supposed to pay under the reverse charge, so say for example in Haryana, you will have a head office and you have a normal registration, and along with the normal registration, you have a ISD registration, whereas you have the branches in UP and Madhya Pradesh. So what will happen now by virtue of this amendment, that the normal registration will pay to the advocate service under the reverse charge mechanism, and then they will transfer that credit, that the liability, that whatever the GST has been paid, to the ISD number through a document, and then the ISD will be able to distribute or transfer that credit to the Uttar Pradesh and the Madhya Pradesh as the case may be. So, my dear friend, not only the I just clarified that number one, that the now cross charge, which was a worry, is not there. ISD is a mandatory requirement now, and ISD has to distribute not only the credit which was paid under the forward charge, but also under the reverse charge. In case you have a normal registration, then the reverse charge can be paid by that normal registration, and then the ISD can transfer that credit. The last requirement as far as this ISD business is concerned is that how the credit will be distributed among the distinct person. So, my dear friend, you are aware that earlier there was a specific rule 39 which was dealing that how the credit will be distributed, but now they have given that the rules will be prescribed. So provision, the methodology will be prescribed. So I believe that in the times to come, by virtue of the section 20 subsection 3, the rules will also be having, I will say, the amendment, so that more clarity will come as far as the distribution of the credit by the ISD will be there. So, my dear friend, this was as far as this ISD business is concerned. Now, coming to the second and the last change, which is related to the machines. So, you are aware that when we talk about the payment of duty based on the machines rather than on the value of the manufacturer for certain reasons. So there is a mechanism available that in case you have 10 machines, you have to pay, example I'm giving, a 2 lakhs rupees per month for per machine as a duty. Now, my dear friend, there was maybe some kind of information or the cases may be there when the machines were not reported to the department properly. So you have the 10 machines, but you are reporting 5 machines. Now, to counter that particular aspect, to plug that loophole, they have amended the section 122 of the CGST Act and inserted a section 122A, which will be inserted, wherein the goods which are specified under section 148, the machine related to the goods which are specified under section 148, there will be a penalty of 1 lakh rupees for every machine which has not been registered with the department. So in case you have 10 machines, you reported 5 machines are not reported, registered, then the 5 lakhs rupees penalty will be there. 1 lakh rupees for CGST, 1 lakh for SGST. So practically it will be a 2 lakh rupees penalty, which will be there. So my dear friend, and in case the penalty is not being paid, the machine will be seized as well. So the provision includes that particular aspect as well. So my dear friend, the section 148 products, if you talk about, are primarily the product related to the pan masala, jarda, and all these things are there. So my dear friends, the client, the SSCs who are dealing with the pan masala, they have to be now more vigilant. Then in case there is any lapse in the registration of their machines, which are being used for the manufacturing of the pan masala, jarda, and related product, there will be the penalty of rupees 2 lakhs per machine, which may be troublesome for them. So it's better that we have the better compliances as far as this law provision is concerned. My dear friend, I will take the question as well. Abhinavji has a question: when will ISD become mandatory? So the moment because this is a bill. So the moment the bill will get the president assent, it will become a mandatory requirement. It's not today. How will RCM be handled? So as I mentioned you, the main registration will pay the GST under RCM, and then it will transfer that liability tax amount to the ISD, and then ISD will transfer that amount. So that will be there, and we will organize a webinar on the ISD calculation methodology whenever the details will come. Then there is another question: how to handle existing common service contract which will continue for multiple years, and the branch level GSTN is being input with the vendor. So my dear friend, now you have to see in the light of this new amendment that it's not a case that the head office only has to take a ISD number. It is even the branch. If any particular branch is paying on behalf of the many other branches, so even the branch can take the ISD number and distribute the credit to the various other branches, including the head office. So it's not a case that it's a head office versus branch. It's a branch versus head office as well. So I believe that will answer your query, which you are asking me. I believe that I answered that. And then there is another question. Abhinavji, is pre-finance bill 2024 regime, could an SSC have cross-charge a service taken from vendor, say legal service pan India from HO to BO, or it is only included activity like internally generated services only? So prior to this bill, or even after once the bill will be implemented, then it will be a mandatory requirement, because you are taking the legal services for a particular branch, then you have to distribute compulsory. But for example, you have taken a legal services for the head office or for the company as a whole, you are looking for some kind of a guidance at the head office level. For example, you want to list your shares, and now you are appointing somebody as an advocate for a legal advisory, then the credit need not to be distributed. It will be treated as an internally generated, and there will not be any compulsory requirement, in my opinion. Then we have a question. I'm just trying to find out the questions. Is there any possibility for single PAN to have ISD registration in multiple states? The answer is there a possibility for single PAN to have ISD registration in multiple states? Yes, you can take the many ISD registration on a single PAN, because The ISD may be at the head office, ISD may be having at the branch level as well. So as such, I don't see, as per my understanding, maybe you can write back to me. I will check and answer. Then there is a question. The another question is from Kapil ji, that whether there is any change in section 43B for payment to MSME. Maybe Kapil ji must have noted down. Then there is a question from Abhinav ji: will internally generated services, employee cost, continue under cross charge, or will they shift it to ISD? They will continue to be under the cross charge if you are following the cross charge. There are no requirement. The ISD means the input services you have taken from outside and then you are distributing. So it's not the internally employee cost is not an input service as far as this provision is concerned. So I believe that I clarified. Then Rajesh ji, Rajesh Khurana ji, in case the HO decide to allocate a part of head office expenses to its branches in other state, will such allocation involve levy of IGST on the line of stock transfer? Answer is yes. So Rajesh ji, that is something cross charge I am talking about from the last 15 minutes. That is called the cross charge, that in case you are allocating a part of a head office expenses to its branches, then you have to charge the GST on the same in the line of the stock transfer. You are right. So Vineet ji, whether the cross charge optional requirement is retrospective or from the budget date. Cross charge was always optional, and even today it is optional, Vineet ji. So as such, no retrospective, no budget date, nothing is there. Cross charge means that you believe that the CFO services should be charged from your branches. You may charge, you may not charge. It's purely on you. It's purely on you to decide. I answered all the questions. No. Abhinav ji again jump in for the next question. Is there a method to distribute GST from HO to branch BO under cross charge? No, there is no method prescribed under the law. You can follow your own formula. So that is there. But Abhinav ji, just wish I request you to take care of the valuation provisions. Don't try to do this kind of a tax planning, that where the taxable activities are there, the tax liabilities are there, you will shift more the amount over there, and where the exempted activity is there, you are not distributing. So that will be a challenge for you in case you are looking to have that kind of calculations. Kapil ji, I answered all the questions.
Sir, 2 points, Atul bhai, quickly. I will definitely do justice to the 2 other queries which were left out from my side. In the sense that to complete the discussion, 206C, Atul bhai, was subsection 1G. This is a provision subsection in the section 206C in the TCS chapter, TCS section. Now it was being brought in 2020 to give a broader perspective, because I have compared the changes, slight changes which has been done. Just to explain. So 206C is a basically tax collection at source provision. Subsection 1G basically, sir, deals with this TCS which was inserted in 2020 by Finance Act 2020, Atul bhai, on 2 important things. One on this banks which are there emitting the money abroad, and these two packages, etc. Now what they have done is very interestingly in 206C 1G, they say in one proviso they have added that sum to be collected under this subsection on or after 1st July 2023 and before 1st October 23 shall be collected in accordance with the provisions of this subsection as they stood on 1st April 23, meaning thereby for the TCS on the payments on the transactions falling in range of period July to 23 and October 23 will be governed by the law as per Finance Act 23 or the amendments which are being proposed now. Now, what has been changed effectively in subsection 1G? The ideal rate was 20%. They say it will be substituted with effect from 1st July 2023, but subject to that proviso which is below it, which I have just read. They say this 20% rate will be 5%, sir. Effective 1st July 23, but subject to the 5th proviso which is being inserted by this bill. That transactions between July and October will be governed by the law as per Finance Act 23 only. So this 5% definitely will apply after 1st October 2023. That can be definitely there, as you also were saying from your side. Second, sir, they have said in the first proviso, there is a classification that authorized dealer shall not collect the sum if the amount remitted by the buyer is less than 7 lakh rupees. Now that is qualified, Atul bhai, earlier it was qualified that it was applicable, this 7 lakh rupees non-TCS, when it is for the purpose of education and medical treatment. Now they have said, proposed in this interim bill, that this words "and is for the purpose of education or medical treatment" will stand omitted with effect from 1st July 23. That is a change in first proviso to section 206 capital C subsection 1G, that the qualification that amount of 7 lakh criteria threshold, threshold limit will be applicable dehors this. This line will stand deleted from here, omitted. That is big set. Third change in 206C itself is, in the second proviso, they say the rate given is that when 7 lakh से ज्यादा होगा सर, 5% रेट लिखा था, उसको 20 कराए, उस 5 को, जो सेकंड प्रोवाइजो 206C1G का है सर, विद इफेक्ट फ्रॉम 1 अक्टूबर 23 सर. और उसमें एक वर्ड लिखा था अतुल भाई कि वो 5% का रेट तभी लग रहा था जब दैट रेमिटेंस वाज फॉर पर्पस ऑफ एजुकेशन और मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट. उसको उन्होंने ऐसा वर्ड किया ताकि ऊपर के साथ फिट हो जाए, जो ऊपर चेंज किया फर्स्ट प्रोवाइजो में, उसको सेकंड प्रोवाइजो के साथ सेट करने के लिए उन्होंने दो बातें कही है कि सेकंड प्रोवाइजो का रेट जो रेमिटेंस 7 लाख से ज्यादा की होगी उस पे 5% की जगह 5% की जगह 20% होगा. और उसमें वो वाला जो लाइन लिखा है इज फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ एजुकेशन और मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट, वो वहां से हट जाएगा. उसकी जगह ये हो जाएगा इज फॉर द पर्पस अदर देन दैट, जो उसके अलावा पर्पस है, क्योंकि उसके वो पर्पस तो ऊपर आ गया सर. आप समझ रहे हैं सर अतुल भाई? आई एम आई एबल टू मेक माई सेंस सर? सो ये वही बात है सिंपल लैंग्वेज वाली सर. हालांकि मेरे को आपने होमवर्क दिया था तो मुझे करना ही था, तो मैंने अपना जितना अभी 5 मिनट में होमवर्क किया उसका पहला पॉइंट ये है कि जो रेट लगेगा 206C1G में वो 1 जुलाई से लेकर 1 अक्टूबर वाली ट्रांजेक्शन को आप अलग कर लीजिए. अब उसके बाद जो चेंजेस हैं, वो पहला चेंज हुआ सर, जो 206C1G के अंदर बेसिक रेट 20% है वो 5% हो गया 1 जुलाई 23 से. मतलब जिसमें जो भी ट्रांजेक्शन 206C में आ रही है उन पे स्टैंडर्ड रेट TCS का 5% हुआ. फिर फर्स्ट प्रोवाइजो में उन्होंने ये कहा कि जो क्वालिफिकेशन है 7 लाख तक TCS नहीं करेगा ऑथोराइज डीलर, उसके आगे लिखा था एंड इज फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ एजुकेशन मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट, वो लाइन वहां से हटा दी, उसको ओमिट कर दिया 1 जुलाई 23 से. सेकंड चेंज सर ये किया, जो सेकंड प्रोवाइजो था उसके अंदर उन्होंने उसको 5% को, जो सेकंड प्रोवाइजो में लिखा था कि 7 लाख से ऊपर वाले पे 5% का TCS होगा, उसको 5 को 20 पढ़ेंगे आप, 20 होगा. और साथ में उसमें ये लिख दिया कि वो जो इज फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ एजुकेशन और मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट है इज अदर देन मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट. वो चेंज अगर आप उसकी लैंग्वेज को ऊपर नीचे सब साथ मिला के पढ़ेंगे तब सेटिंग उसकी बैठेगी. एक इन्होंने नीचे प्रोवाइजो डाला, एक और चौथा प्रोवाइजो सर, तीसरे के बाद ये पहला दूसरा तीसरा एज इट इज है, चौथा प्रोवाइजो डल गया. इसमें टूर वालों के लिए, प्रोवाइडेड दैट सेलर ऑफ ए टूर पैकेज shall collect a sum of 20% on the aggregate amount or aggregate of amount in excess of 7 lakh from a buyer in financial year. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ, उन्होंने कहा कि 20% पैसा TCS कलेक्ट करेगा वो जो टूर पैकेज सेल कर रहा है, अगर एक आदमी जिसको आप सेल कर रहे हैं उसका जो अमाउंट है वो 7 लाख से ज्यादा का है इन ए पर्टिकुलर फाइनेंशियल ईयर. दिस इज द फोर्थ प्रोवाइजो विच इज इंसर्टेड बाय दिस फाइनेंस बिल 24 इंटरिम बजट. और फिफ्थ प्रोवाइजो को मैंने पहले ही पढ़ दिया. तो अतुल भाई ये जो 5 प्रोवाइजो थे जो मैंने समझ पाया वो मैंने बता दिए. हालांकि मैं फिर कैविएट दे रहा हूं सर अपने दोस्तों को विनम्रता से, हालांकि आपसे सीखा है कि जब आप किसी चीज को रोज ना करते हो, देखो मैं TCS अतुल भाई बिल्कुल नहीं करता हूं बहुत ज्यादा, बट फिर भी मेरी ड्यूटी है, मेरे को पढ़ना चाहिए और पढ़ी भी रहा हूं मैं. अच्छा है. अभी दूसरा बात आप जो अतुल भाई पॉइंट आउट कर रहे थे, फाइनेंस एक्ट 23 का जो सेक्शन का चेंज है, वो उन्होंने उसी के साथ जो मदुरई के CA साहब बोल रहे थे ना, दे हैव जस्ट कोलेसेस्ड इट विद देन व्हाट यू से, उसकी हार्मोनाइजेशन करिए. वो जो लास्ट टाइम मैडम ने वो सेक्शन जो बड़ा पीरियड है जिसमें वो स्पेशल रेट का लाए थे 115 BAC जो 7 लाख वाला, उसके साथ उस फाइनेंस एक्ट आप देखेंगे, कंपेयर करेंगे, अगर फाइनेंस एक्ट 23 के अंदर जो सेक्शन पहले था सब सेक्शन 2 और उसको जो नया वाला अभी आप पढ़ रहे थे उसके अंदर सिर्फ 115 BAC वाला एंट्री नया है. मैंने वर्ड बाय वर्ड अपनी तरफ से कंपेयर कर लिया. तो वो 115 BAC का कैलकुलेशन है सर, वो मेरे समझ में अभी तक भी नहीं आया है. जो मैं तो आपको बता रहा हूं, मैं अपनी रिटर्न खुद भी नहीं बनाता, पर मेरे को जितना समझ में आता है वो ये है कि जो मदुरई के चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, अभी हमारे एक व्यूअर जो है वो बोल रहे थे कि व्हाई गवर्नमेंट इज सो कीन टू प्रमोट द न्यू टैक्स रिजीम, जो वो सो कॉल्ड कंसेशनल टैक्स रिजीम है जिसमें आपको सारे कंसेशंस वेव करने पड़ते हैं. तो वो जो फाइनेंस एक्ट का आप पढ़ रहे थे अतुल भाई, जहां उन्होंने उसको वो किया है ना, 115 BAC डाला है सिर्फ, बाकी लैंग्वेज सब पहले वाला.
Thank you, Kapil bhai. There is two questions. One question more from Khushbu. That so, sir, basically, if the HO receive, this is question from me. If the HO receive bill for a branch, then only ISD is required. Yes, you are right that if the bill pertains to the activity which are being performed in the branch but bill to head office, then only the ISD is a mandatory requirement. Otherwise, it is not for the internal services. So I believe that we have answered all the questions which are there. You have already.
And one thing, Atul bhai, at the end, I would just submit as a student of law, I have learned from you only, is that when we read these sections like 206C and TCS, etc., na, I always humbly submit. Now there is our a very great commentary which has just come in 2024 by Prithi Saria. It is 11 volume. It is now updated again. So there is a very good discussion on all these changes which were made till 2023 in that leading commentary. So my good viewers, good professional friends can definitely, who can read that, must read that. I will humbly implore on.
Over to you, Juhi ji. You are on the mute.
So there's one more question Sahil ji has put in, if you want to take.
No, Salil, there is no change in 43B. It should have been there. You can read circular which has just come to, if you have any doubts on 43B, you must have, because that section which was amended last year in Finance Act 23, the clause H of 43B, that payment to MSCME, if not made as per section 15, then it has to be allowed only on actual payment basis. There is a CBDT memorandum circular which has just come few days ago, circular number 1/2024, explaining that change. My viewers can read that on Atul bhai. Although in this bill there is no change, but that change which was based last budget year, the CBDT circular 1/2024, that is the first circular of this calendar year by CBDT, that can be read by my learned viewers.
Okay. It was a very, very wonderful session and very knowledgeable, insightful. Thank you so much, our esteemed panelist, CA Atul Kumar Gupta sir and CA Advocate Kapil Goyal sir, for giving all the information regarding the Union Budget 2024. And I believe it was very, I mean, you enjoyed, all the participants enjoyed as well as we did, we enjoyed. A humble thanks to all the speakers and for taking out their valuable time and sharing their knowledge, and all the participants for taking out their time on the 1st of February in the evening. And with this, we can come to an end to this wonderful session. And thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time. Thank you,
Atul bhai,
for
pranam.
sparing your time.
Jai Shri Ram, sir. Thank you.